Taggart, whose team has qualified for the state golf tournament for the 8th straight time. You know, Coach, that kind of pressure for your kids. I know that these guys come into the season not wanting that string to end. They don't want to be those guys that have that end. Talk a little bit about the pressure, and do people really understand how much pressure there is for these guys?
People, probably don't unless you've been in that situation. We talk about how preparation beats pressure 100% of the time, and for these kids, next week, if they started May 1st in their golf preparation, then it's going to be day 175 or somewhere in there, and so for 175 days they've prepared to perform well on this stage. And as far as the pressure in our program, continuing this streak, it's incredible to think about it. I mean, some of these kids were like 6 years old when we went to the state tournament in 07 and won, and so their history of this is limited a little bit more than what certainly mine is. The thing that we just try to do is get better. And we've talked a lot lately about staying in the moment, staying in the present, and that's not just when you're out around playing golf. I mean, for me, that's not getting ahead of myself and thinking about what's this, what's the next step for our team. Well, we got to get through where we're at right now. So staying in the present. Another thing is we try to play great, and sometimes good is the worst enemy of great, and the challenges and the things that we do in practice, sometimes we'll come in at even, but, we should have been 2 or 3 under there. And so 2 or 3 under is a great score. Even, that's a good score. And so we don't want to accept good. We want to be great. And, I think as long as we continue to challenge ourselves and continue to kind of expand and make ourselves uncomfortable, and you're going to get better. And, results, streaks are results, and focusing on process. We talk about process a lot over result, and just those fundamental components to success. I think in anything, those things have really helped us, stay humble and stay hungry, and I think those have certainly allowed us to achieve some of the things that we have.
So each of these 8 teams have, I'm sure, had very different personalities.
Yeah.
How would you describe this team's personality?
Ornery. No, these kids are, of all the teams I've had in the last 8 years, this group of individuals was just that when we started in August. I mean, they've come together as a team more so, or had to work harder at coming together as a team more so than the other groups that we've had. We've always had one kid that, they were trying not to let down. It was Kevin Miller, and then it was Ryan Troyer, and then it was Cody Mast, So they've always had a kid that kind of stood out. And this year that wasn't necessarily the case. And the 4, the 2 juniors, Cole and Ben as a sophomore, they've kind of held themselves accountable and kind of taken the leadership role on as a unit, and that has been a huge part of our success. I've seen Ben grab Cole and say, "Hey, let's go." You're like 6 over in 4 holes. Let's go. And I've seen Brock pull Ben aside and say, "Hey, you know what? You can't have that face on. We just won today, or we just did this today. I know you didn't play well, but." And so they've held each other accountable, and that's been a huge part of our success.
All right, lastly here, I know that these guys put a lot of pressure on themselves to perform well. Win, lose, or draw down at the state tournament. What do you feel is the best part of growth that these young men can get out of doing what they're doing right now?
Wow. Seeing them, hearing them say they want to be a state champion, or hearing them say they want to get to the state tournament, hearing them say their goals is one thing. Watching them mature and grow into an opportunity where they can achieve that goal or that aspiration is something special on a whole nother level. And I think any coach would say that the best part of coaching is watching kids grow and mature.